What's going on, Tamers? You smell that? The sun is shining, the birds are chirping. It's that smell of that fresh new Banlist going into effect. Oh, wait a second, what is that nasty wolf smell? Okay, look, ignore that for now, but focus on the positive. Banlist goes into effect, basically fresh new format. Actually, this ban list is the reason that you probably noticed there haven't been any meta reports since the Grand Age Open Finals like 2 weeks ago. And with the ban list just going into effect yesterday, I figured there really wasn't a point to cover any events these past 2 weeks because the format is just going to change right after it. As I figured leading up to the new ban list enacted format, I figured we'd take a look at something kind of fun for once. I know sweats are in shambles right now hearing that. This is actually a member voted idea for a video, and so thank you very much to members who support the channel. And that is, we're going to cover the popper format, or the cheap, broke, common, uncommon, restricted format in Japan that's happening right now. You probably heard about this format at least a couple of times in my previous videos because I was trying to find ideas for decks to actually build because I was like drawing a huge blank going into this. And I'll say after looking at the results, this format did not disappoint at all. I'd definitely say that if you're looking for something a little bit less sweaty, a little bit more casual, but also very fun to do, definitely give this a shot with either your close friend groups or like your local scenes wherever they are. You will not be disappointed. That being said, let's take a look at some event results. A couple of key takeaways. It feels weird doing this. Feels too official for this, you know? That being said, let's take a look at a couple of the popper format event results, a couple of key takeaways, and a close look at some of the decks that topped over the course of the past 2, 3, 4 weeks, month, yeah, something like that. Just to be really clear going into this is all just for fun. So, you know, I took events of any size that happened during the regulation battles for the popper format happening in Japan. So if you're trying to get really sweaty with this, be gone. Shoo. We don't want you here. Now that we've got the folks who just touched grass left, going into this, I think a lot of folks kind of assumed that SkullMammothmon was going to be really strong, and he definitely did not disappoint. For the uninformed, SkullMammothmon seemed like a big front runner because he can play Digimon whenever you discard cards, which is a really low threshold to meet, and as a result you can just go super wide with lots of really strong effects from purple. That being said, even within the SkullMammothmon decks themselves, there's lots of different variants, and so every deck still feels fresh. Moving down, and what I think is even more interesting is that Blue Hybrid using things like Labramon and Caesarmon for jamming was really popular, a deck that I didn't have on my radar at all. I personally, with the help of some of you folks in the comments, was really expecting Hunters to do super well, but they only squeaked by with a single win. Kind of surprising, right? Another cool revelation that happened was if you drop down to the champion and the rookie level here, armor decks were actually quite strong. Some of the cards from BT16, all those armor forms that lots of the level 3s got, were really strong in things like the Hawkmon Gatomon set, as well as the Patamon armor cards for blue. Mill decks also saw their fair share of success thanks to the Guillemon cards who can mill cards off of you and your opponent's deck, as well as the surprisingly only uncommon level 6 Ghoulmon? Where did that happen? I swear to God that guy was like a rare. A lot of folks, even you folks out there in YouTube land, predicted that the SOC deck would be really strong because they had access to the Codecracker Fang, as well as things like the Dorogoromon cards, which have incredible abilities in being able to taunt, as well as giving Alliance or Blocker. But with the top end of only the SOC Chaosdramon, it really did feel lacking. Shifting over at the rookie level here, as a big fan of Edamon myself personally, I was really happy to see him sprinkled in some of the top results here alongside another deck that I also tried to make for this set, which was Red Dinosaurs. Dinosaurs actually have some pretty cool control cards, and when you take that and combine it with the raw power of Red, it seems for a really interesting deck. And so yeah, this ended up being a really diverse format with a lot of really cool archetypes to try out, and I feel like it rewards really good deck building more so than like regular Digimon, where you don't have access to these really powerful tools, you're just kind of like stringing together really good effects to find some combos. I feel like I'd be a little bit remiss if I didn't just take a look at least one of these SkullMammothmon decks, considering it was one of the best performing ones of this format, and so I found one that I thought was also just really cool in general. I like this list because it leans on some of the older purple engines and then mixes them together with some really cool effects from their level 6s. The basic game plan here is to use your Gizamon engine cards you see on the left here, alongside things like the Blue Miramon to sink your level 4s in the trash, all the while trying to get to your level 6 SkullMammothmon. And so over the course of the game, you're discarding until you get to your SkullMammothmon, but once you've got him online, every time you discard after that, once per turn, on I think either turn, you're going to be able to play level 4 from the trash for free. This is where the Ginkakumon promote engine comes in from like BT6, I think it is, where you get the Ginkaku promote, he has rush so he can attack immediately, and then you can slot underneath him the Ginkakumon and the Kinkakumon for more memory gain and card draw, as well as level 3 Digimon deletion. The deck can become even more efficient with the use of the level 3 Goblimon or Ignitemon inheritance effects, being able to give you +1 memory whenever you actually play Digimon by an effect. And so while SkullMammothmon definitely is the star of the show, there are other cards in the deck that let you play Digimon as well. Things like the level 5 Bastimon, who also has the Scapegoat effect, which is really nice, as well as things like the really old Anubismon, who lets your Digimon who play from trash all gain Rush. What I really like about this deck is that you can see pretty simply how all the pieces fit together, and then once you actually play the deck itself, you can see how strong it actually is. So each time I do one of these meta report videos, I allow my champion level and higher YouTube members to vote on decks they'd like to see featured. And because this one was a little bit more lighthearted and fun, I figured I'd open up the poll to not only the champion level members, but all the members, and I take not their top choice, but their top 2 choices. Trying to keep the vibe of this video light and breezy, I figured I'd share the fun with all my YouTube members for this one. And if you'd like to vote on decks that you want to see featured in these meta report videos, as well as some other really cool perks and bonuses, consider becoming a champion level YouTube member as well. Again, I want to thank all the folks who do help support the channel, and with that, let's take a look at Red Dinosaurs. So going into the Pauper format, the level 6 Red Dynarexmon stood out as a particularly strong card because it could prevent your opponent from playing 6k or lower DP Digimon while they had 1 or more memory. Also, in really sticking with the Pauper format theme, it feels like the card shop here decided to take the winning deck photos picture with a 2002 Samsung flip phone, and so as a result, I've gone ahead and recreated the deck in DigimonCard.dev for your easy viewing pleasure. Also to prevent myself from having to answer the same question in comments 47 times on what that card is behind the glare, or what that card is behind next card. Jesus Christ. But anyway, like I was saying before, Dynarix is a really strong card. When you combine this with the BT18 Brachiomon and Cannondramon at level 5 and level 6, who could delete Digimon or freeze Digimon depending on how much memory you or they had, you got some pretty nasty control tools. This deck also plays into the strong suits of Red with additional security attacks from things like the level 4 Greymon, as well as the level 5 Lava Garidamon in Inheritance. And then it also grants DP buffs using some of the Legend Art cards like the Zubamon as well as Zweigamon, is that how you say that? Zubaigermon? Zweiga? I don't know. I'm not German. You let me know in the comments below. As well as the Red Tide Tamer, the BT1 Red Tide Tamer, is it? Or was this guy like in the starter deck? I don't even remember. Yeah, he was a start. Wow, I have seen this card so little, I forgot where he came from. Jesus. Speaking of tamers, the BT18 Owen Dreadnought is a staple not just for red decks, but pretty much any deck out there because he's a 3 memory setter and he can destroy the weaker Digimon whenever your Digimon attack. He's also just a great tamer to have down in combination with the level 4 Grumblemon here to do a hybrid for game. You've also got the level 3 Muchomon, the fantastic draw card that used to be featured in Ancient Garurumon, as well as the Fireball option card as a way to draw cards or delete Digimon. And on the topic of removal, we also have the 4 of Gale Force for some simple deletion, whether it's from hand or security. So we're looking for something with some really nice control tools alongside just raw power with plus DP and plus security attack. Look no further than the Red Dinosaur deck here. So trains, pretty bitchin', right? You know what's not bitchin'? This photo quality. Can't really see all the cards, so again, I did the thing. DigimonCard.dev looks way better. Anyway, back on track. Locomon, what does he do? It's so straightforward. One track to victory here. Locomon picks up passengers, search 3 top cards of your deck, put them into sources, they get on the train, and then they evolve into Grand Locomon. Small train to big train, Grand Locomon lets those passengers off the train. Those passengers become new Digimon on the board. All the passengers in this deck either have Reboot, Blocker, or the much coveted Collision. So you have complete control of the board. And while there is a really high chance that your train could be suplexed, as we've seen in past media before, you can stop that from happening by playing out the Guardramon. Hold that, Sabin. You've also got Kazushioda as the conductor, who's going to give you more memory whenever you have a train, or he's going to give you card draw whenever you change tracks? I can't keep this up. Yeah, Kazushioda gives you memory whenever you rest one of your machine or cyborg type Digimon. Did I actually forget anything? Looking over, I think, as stupid as that explanation was, I think I actually caught everything. The Trailmon lets you slot tamers underneath, and then later you can play the tamer from his sources. The Locomon lets you grab Digimon from top 3, put them into sources, and then whenever you add cards to sources, he can go into the Grand Locomon. The Grand Locomon lets you get out those sources and play them as Digimon. He can also give piercing, and because you've got, collision, he can just punch through whatever. Yeah, that actually covered everything, I think. Wow, well done. So let's see, wrap up. Pauper is actually a really fun format. If you haven't tried it before, like I said in the beginning of this video, definitely give it a shot. Try it with your local friend group or your local scene. I'm sure you guys will have a ton of fun. It really feels like it rewards deck building, just because you're going to see so many novel ideas kind of pop up. And it's really hard to build for some specific things. So again, it's just something that you kind of just go wild with. Shifting focus here to the future, now that we do have the restricted list updated and in effect not only in the West but also in Japan, I'm interested to see what the game looks like in these next coming weeks. What decks are you folks looking forward to playing now that Numamon and Ukamon have pretty much been tamed? And I swear to God, if you say Mirage Yakumon, I'm banning you. Anyways, folks, I'm gonna get out of here. Before you get out of here, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Jesus Christ.